Now let's talk about the response. Before we start, let's take a look at 4 different videos of different expectations.
Clap hands. Clap hands. Clap hands. Clap hands.
Now, as you can see, all 4 videos showed students clapping their hands. But which is the correct response? Now, we need to have very clear expectations. Before we issue the instruction, we need to know what is expected. Because if we're not consistent with the expected responses, the students will not be clear as well. Looking at the first, second, third, fourth, which is the correct response, right? Is it clapping one time? Is it clapping backwards? Now, if one staff, one therapist accepts clapping once or clapping backwards as a correct response, but the other doesn't, when you do this over a span of time, you're going to have very, very inconsistent data of which one person is thinking our student learn how to clap their hands, whereas the other therapist thinks nope, completely different. So we need to have very, very exact, clear expectation, and this needs to be carried across the entire team of therapists when it comes to a specific case, because it will affect the outcome of the data collected overall and the mastery criteria. So looking at the 4 examples, the one that I would accept would be the final one, which is repeatedly clapping hands, and not backwards, not one time, not flying around. Next, we need to be aware of undesirable behaviors when we're looking at responses. So let's take a look at one video first.
Give me the apple. Yes, good job, the apple. For you.
Now, if inappropriate behavior occurs during or after the response, we should handle it differently than an incorrect response. And we could do this by providing consequence accordingly. Because if in midst of delivering the reinforcement, although they have gotten the correct response, but they engage in inappropriate behavior, for example, like that video showed, hitting in the head, when we bring out the reinforcement and we praise and deliver it, we're actually reinforcing the closest behavior, which isn't the correct response, which is actually the self-injurious behavior of hitting himself. So therefore, we need to be very careful not to reward that, and we need to reinforce the correct behaviors more timely. But mostly, we need to be aware of the student's behavior at all times, and not just the task itself that we're working on. Now, next we're going to talk about proper timing. So we do need to provide sufficient time for a student to respond, but how long is enough and how long is too long? Let's take a look at the next video.
What is 4 plus 5? It's too slow.
Well, clearly that was not correct. That was a bit too short. When the student is actually still engaging in counting, we immediately cut off when they're actually engaged in the task. So when you ask how long is too long and how long is enough, it really depends on the task at hand, and it also depends on the behavior observed at the moment. If the student is not attending to the task itself, why wait? I would immediately terminate the trial, cut the trial, provide feedback, consider what they did wrong, and provide prompting as necessary. But if the student is attending to the task and giving effort, we should think about providing a longer duration of time to allow the student to kind of process what they need to do, and perhaps actually to prompt at that moment before the student has committed to an error. So once again, it's all about watching behaviors.